Hey everyone, we're going to do a crappie jig today. In the vise we have a 1/16 ounce minnow head jig with a size 4 Matzuo sickle hook. I did find some of them. Um, the color is black, and that's what this is going to be. It's going to be our dark squirrel tail jig. And we're going to start off with some black 140 denier flat wax nylon. And this is going to be a crappie jig with a little bit larger profile. Uh, This is one I use particularly in stained water. Like I said, the profile's larger and it has a pretty big presence, so it really shows up. And the bigger profile, of course, I get fewer numbers, but I also get bigger fish with this. So we got our 140 denier flat wax nylon thread base on here, and the first thing we're going to add is gray squirrel tail. And I like making this a little thinner tail and a little bit longer. So what I do is it's about a shank and a half to 2 shanks in length. And I'm going to trim that just a little bit. I don't need much because I do want a good bit of the squirrel tail up on the hook shank. Because if you see my other video when I tied it is a little slippery, so it can slip on you. It can be pulled out if you don't get it far enough up that you can really crank down on it and get a lot of thread wraps. So once I got it that I'm in position here, I am going to really pull down as much as this 140 lets me. And the reason I didn't go with 210 is because, again, I'm using a little bit thinner tail than I do on my normal squirrel tail jig. Just want to make sure I got an equal amount on each side of the hook, and we look pretty good. So with our squirrel tail tied in, I'm going to take some black rainbow polar flash. I take 2 strands of this and I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to cut it. That'll give me 4 strands total. And I'm going to put it that it's right even with the back, maybe a little bit further than the tail, but you're right in that general area for your length. It looks pretty good. I'm going to hold it in place, and now I'm going to wrap my thread up and then back again, just because a little bit of the buildup. And I want to leave this area here not quite as large. Like I don't mind if I get a little heavier thread here than up there because of how we're going to finish this jig. So now our squirrel tail and our flash are tied in. We're going to take black woolly bugger chenille, and as you can see, it has little glints of mylar in there, little flash, which is why I like this. And it's a heavier bodied chenille. It's Antron, I believe, which is some kind of yarn. So I take a little bit off, and that little thread is where I'm going to tie it in at. It's some of the flash caught on me here. And then we're going to wrap back up to the head. And now we're going to put our chenille on. And you could feel this chenille when if you're using it. It feels denser compared to everything else. And we're not going to go all the way to the head. We're going to stop right there. Get it trapped. And trim off our excess. I'm going to put a few more wraps down here to make sure we don't have nothing loose. Now, what's going to be different than this within other collared crappie jigs I did is we're going to use this. This is a pine squirrel zonker, just a plain black pine squirrel zonker. I'm going to take the end here. Got a little bit too much hair on that. My thread slipped. We're going to trap our pine squirrel zonker down, and then we're going to start wrapping it. Need many wraps, 2, 3 at the most. Just want to make sure that leather strip is down. I'll get it trapped. And the hardest part of this is trimming it off without cutting anything else. And we'll just tie it down. I wet my fingers here to pull the squirrel back. And when you're wrapping the collar on this, you just want to make sure that you see the thread, so that way you know you have that little leather strip there, the little piece of hide covered. 4, 5, 6. And I'll do one more, just for good measure. We'll do 4. 2, 3, 4. Now, on this one, I am going to use a little bit of head cement just because of that. The hide on that squirrel zonker is a little heavier than most other materials, so we're going to use our bodkin. And just put a little bit of head cement around. Don't need much. And now I'll show you what we have. Let me get a clamp here so my fingers aren't in the way. To get their flash situated that I caught earlier. And that is our dark squirrel tail jig. To get this flash down, because I pulled it when I was putting the chenille on. You see how that collar is. This has a little bit bigger presence, like I said. It's something that really shows up nice in stained water, has a really good action. We are going to put this in the tank so you can see it, but the color works really well. It gives a really nice minnow look to it. Give it a try. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.